I am back with the video on Merchant of Venice, William Shakespeare, Act 1, Scene 1. So, in Act 1, Scene 1, there are friends Antonio, Salarino and Salanio who are talking to each other. Antonio is a rich merchant and Salanio and Salarino are his friends. So, I will start with the dialogue of Antonio and we will comprehend it line by line. So, the play starts with a dialogue of Antonio. What Antonio says: "In sooth, I know not why I am so sad." Truly, Antonio says he don't know why he is so sad, so melancholic. "It wearies me," you say it wearies you. So, it disappoints, wearies, disappoints. It disappoints Antonio and it disappoints other people too. But how I caught it, found it or came by it, what stuff it is made of, whereas it is born, I am to learn. So, Antonio is saying that how I am caught by it, how I found it and how I came by it, I do not know. What is the origin of this and where it is born, I have still to find out. And such a want with sadness makes of me. Want with sadness making Antonio a dull fellow, that I have much ado to know myself. So, Antonio is in great trouble of knowing himself. So, this is the first dialogue of Antonio, which he speaks to his friends Salanio and Salarino. This dialogue says that Antonio is in melancholic state of mind and he does not know why he is so sad. The reason of his sadness is unknown, and for the last 400 years people are searching for this reason. So, he is unknown to the fact that what is the stuff of this reason, how it originated, he is still to learn about that. Now, in reply to Antonio's dialogue, Salarino says, "Your mind is tossing on the ocean. There were your argosies with portly sail." So, Salarino replies that Antonio, your mind is tossing in the ocean. Your mind is in the ocean. And what is there in the ocean? Argosies with portly sail. So, ships of Antonio and with a stately sail, big ships, light schooners and rich burghers on the flood. So, the ship of Antonio are sailing like the gentlemen and important citizens on the road, or as it were the peasants of the sea. So, either they can be compared with gentlemen or the dignitaries, or they may be a decorated carts that are moving on the sea. Do overpeer the petty traffickers. So, the ship of Antonio are so grand that they overpeer, they look down with contempt to the small ship, the petty traffickers, that courtesy to them, do them reverence. So, the small ships that move on the sea, they show their courtesy to the ship of Antonio as they fly by them with their woven wings. So, as the ships of small merchants move on to the sea, they show their respect to the ships of Antonio. This gives an indication that Antonio is a rich merchant because he is the owner of big ships and his ships are compared to schooners, burghers, and when they move, they overpeer, they look down with contempt, with insult to the lower ships, small ships. So, this is what Salarino guessed to the Antonio's sadness, that why Antonio is sad. Salarino guessed that Antonio's mind is tossing on the ocean, where his large ships are moving. Now, in this discussion, Salanio comes on the scene, and Salanio says, "Believe me, sir, had I such venture forth, the better part of my affection would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still plucking the grass to know where sits the wind." So, Salanio also agrees with Salarino. This, yes, Antonio is sad because his mind is on the ocean, and he is justifying that if I had such venture, such business forth abroad, so better part of my affections means greater part of my mind would be with my hopes abroad. So, my mind would also be on the sea. I should be still plucking the grass to know where sits the wind. So, Salanio is saying that if I were the owner of those ships, I would be plucking the grass to know in which direction the wind is blowing, because the ships are drawn by the wind only. Peering in the maps for ports. So, I will be so anxious that I will look keenly, look carefully for the maps in port, for the maps and for the ports, and piers and roads. So, pier is a place where the ship dwells, where the ship stops, and every object that might make me fear. Misfortune to my ventures out of doubt would make me sad. So, Salanio also justified Salarino's reply that if I would have such ventures, everything that might create fear to me, everything that might created a misfortune for my ventures, that would make me sad. In reply to Salanio, Salarino again gave a logic. What would have happened if I had such ventures? My wind cooling my broth, my breath, wind, will cool the soup. So, the soup which Salarino is taking, that will be cooled by the breath, my breath, and that wind which is blowing, blow me to an ache when I thought what harm a wind too great at sea might do. So, he is such anxious, he is such in a fear that when he experiences his own breath cooling the soup, he correlates the wind that is flowing in the sea. So, the wind that is hard enough, that is fast enough, can do a great damage to the ships. So, Salarino is again guessing that Antonio is sad because his mind is on the sea, and he is giving the logic that as I experience my breath is cooling the soup, and whenever I experience that my breath is cooling the soup, so what a harm a wind that is too great that can do at sea. And whenever he again gives an example, I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrews locked in the sand. So, Salarino is saying that whenever I see the sandy hourglass, I think of sand, and whenever I think of sand, it comes to my mind that there are shallows and the flats in the oceans, and whenever there are shallows and flats in the oceans, it is always possible that my ship, Andrew, may be locked in the sand. So, he is feeling nervous, When he experiences his own breath, he think of wind blowing in the sea. When he see sand or glass, he think that his wealthy ship Andrew will be locked in the sand. So these all friends are justifying that this is the reason, that is why Antonio is sad, and veiling their high tops lower than her ribs. So Andrew's getting locked in the sand and lowering their mast. There is a mast in the ship, lowering their mast lower than her ribs, lower than her sides. So ribs are compared to the sides of the ships. To kiss her burial. So kiss her burial, to go to the death. So he imagines, whenever he sees the sand, he imagines that his ship is getting destroyed, veiling her high top lower than his ribs. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of the stone? And what happens when Salarino go to the church? When he go to the church, he see the stone of holy edifice, and when he sees the stone, what comes into his mind? He thinks of dangerous rocks, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which touching but my gentle vessel's side. So his mind toss towards the rocks which may touch his vessels, because there are rocks in the sea, and would scatter all her spices on the stream. So what would these rocks do? These rocks would scatter all the spices that are loaded on the sea, on the ship. Unrobe the roaring waters with my silks. And what will these rocks do? These rocks will cover. These rocks will do such a damage that whole water will be covered by my silk and robe covered. And in a word, but even now worth like, and now worth nothing. So a moment before it was worthful, and after a moment, after getting destroyed by the rocks, it worth nothing. Shall I have the thought to think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing behanst would make me sad? So Salarino is saying, shall I be capable of thinking this, or should I not think this, that in a moment I will be destroyed? But tell me not, I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. So he reached the conclusion that Antonio is sad because of its merchandise. So both Salanio and Salarino justified their own logic, giving examples that this is the reason why Antonio is sad. In this opening scene, friends are discussing in the street of Venice, and they are giving their own logic for the reason of Antonio. And Antonio, as indicated, is a big merchant because his ships are like the burghers and cigars. Now Antonio replies to his friends after a long while. He says, believe me, no, I thank my fortune for it. So Antonio says, no, believe me, and I am thankful to my fortune. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted. So I have not invested all my money in one ship, now to one place, nor in my whole estate, and nor these ships are in one estate or one place, nor upon the fortune of this present year. So neither my all ships, neither all of my ships are testing their fortune in this present year. Therefore my merchandise makes me not sad. So Antonio nullified all these arguments by saying that my merchandise makes me not sad. I am not sad because of my ships. The point is finished. Then Salarino guesses another thing. Why? Then you are in love? Antonio says, fie means shame. So Salarino says, not in love either? Then let us say you are sad because you are not merry. So now Salarino again goes on guessing, because he has ruled out the possibility of being sad due to his merchandise or the ships sailing in the ocean. So Salarino guessed another point, that you are sad because you are in love, but Antonio denied it, that no, it is not the case. So Salarino again start guessing wildly. He says, no, you are not in love. Then let us say you are sad. Again they are trying to find out the reason of their sadness, the sadness of Antonio. So let us say you are sad because you are not merry. So you are sad because you are not happy. This is the reason. And 'twere as easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry because you are not sad. So it is as easy for you that you should laugh and you should enjoy and you should say I am happy because I am not sad. So Salarino justified that just do opposite of it what you are doing. So if you are sad because you are not happy, so he is saying be happy and say I am not sad. And then he says, now by two-headed Janus, so Janus is a Roman god, nature had framed a strange fellow in her time. So now Salarino knows Antonio will not be happy, so he is giving example of Janus, the Roman god, that nature hath framed a strange fellow in her time. Some of will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at the bagpiper. So one category of the people are like this, who will laugh at the ridiculous things like bagpiper also, like the parrots, and they will peep through their eyes, they will peep through their half opened eyes. And others of such vinegar aspect, and the other category of people are such like they have very sore expressions, they have very negative expressions, and they will never show their teeth in the way of a smile. So other type of people are, they will never show their smile. Though Nestor swear the jest be laughable, even though the Nestor the god says that this joke is laughable, you should laugh at this, then also they will not laugh. So there are two category of people, one type of people will laugh at everything and the other type of people will not laugh at anything. And that is why the Roman god has two heads. That is what Salarino is saying. So one head belongs to those people who laugh at everything, just like at bagpiper, and the other type of people who belongs to the other head, they have such vinegar aspects that they will laugh at nothing. So now, after this long speech of Salanio says, Antonio is quiet. Salanio says, here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman. So there is entry of another friend. Here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman. Gratiano and Lorenzo, fare ye well. We leave you now with a better company. So now after this lots of guesswork, why Antonio sad, Salanio says that here is your noble relative, friend, because he knows that Bassanio is closer to Antonio and I am not so close to him. So Gratiano, so three young men comes there on the scene, Bassanio, Gratiano and Lorenzo. And Salanio says, fare ye well, we leave you now with a better company. So Salanio says, now I am leaving you to a better company, with the company of Bassanio, Gratiano and Lorenzo. So Salarino says, I would have stayed here till I made you merry, if worthier friends have not prevented me. So Salarino is joking that if your friends did not came here, I would have make you laugh, make you merry. Now again Antonio replies, your worth is very dear in my regard, so you are very precious to me. I take it your own business calls on you and you embrace the occasion to depart. So Antonio says that it is your business that is calling you, and you are using this opportunity to say that you are leaving because my friends have came here. So Antonio is saying that you are very dear to me and you are going because your business is calling you. So, with this enter Bassanio, Lorenzo and Gratiano. Now, Salarino says, good morrow, my good lords. So, good morrow is good morning. Good morning, my good lords. Bassanio replies, good signers, both. When shall we laugh? Say when. You grow exceedingly strange. Must it be so? So, Bassanio says, when shall we laugh? Means when shall we meet? When shall we dine? And you are going exceedingly strange. And we must meet. Must it be so? So, Salarino says, we will make our lazar attend on yours. So, Salarino affirmatively says that we will make our lazars and attend on yours. We will be there. We will use our spare times to serve at your meeting place. With this, Salarino and Salanio, who were at the starting of the play, they exit. Now, Lorenzo, Gratiano, Bassanio and Antonio, these are left. So, Lorenzo says, my lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we too will leave too, but at dinner time I pray you have in mind where we must meet. So, Lorenzo says that as you have found your good friend Antonio, so we will leave, but at dinner time we should meet. So, Bassanio gives a promise, I will not fail you. Now, Gratiano says with Antonio the same question, that why Antonio is sad. So, Gratiano says, you look not well, Signor Antonio. So, Signor is a designation for giving respect. So, you look not well, Signor Antonio. You have too much respect upon the word. They lost if that too buy it with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed. So, Gratiano says that you do not look well and you are too much involved in the worldly affairs. And the people who are too much involved in the worldly affair, they lost everything. So, he is just saying that do not be involved in the worldly affair so much. Believe me, you have marvelously changed. So, Gratiano says that you have changed marvelously. Now, Antonio gives a reply, I hold the word as the word, but as the word, Gratiano, a stage where every man must play a part, and mine is a sad one. So, now Antonio is sticking to his sadness. He is saying, I hold the word as the word. Gratiano, a stage. So, word is a stage for me, and where every man has to take a play, take a part, and my part is a sad one. So, Antonio says that my part is a part of a sad one. Now, Gratiano, on this, when Antonio says that I will play the sad, Gratiano says, let me play the fool. So, my part will be of fool. I will behave like an idiot. With mirth and laughter, let old wrinkle comes. So, with cheer and laugh, let I become old, and let my liver rather heat with wine. So, I should drink so much that my liver get heated with wine. Then my heart cool with mortifying groans. So, I will not let my heart cool and making painful, fatal pain. Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like a grandshire cut in alabaster? So, he is taunting to Antonio that why should a man who has a warm blood should sit like a grandfather cut in an alabaster, sit like a statue of a grandfather. By being peevish, tell the Antonio, sleep when he wakes and creep into the jaundice. So, why should a man should sleep when he is waking, and in this way inviting or creeping to the jaundice? So, he is saying that Antonio will go to the jaundice, and I will enjoy with wine, and I will not let my heart cool. by being peevish, by being depressed. Tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee, and it is my love that speaks. So, he says to Antonio that, Antonio, I love you, therefore I am speaking. Why are you so depressed? There are sort of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond. So, he again gives an example. There are some people whose face resemble like water of the standing pond, which doesn't move, they don't show any expressions, and do a willful stillness entertain, with purpose to be dressed in an opinion, and willfully they sustain, they give an impression that they are dressed in an opinion, that they hold a specific opinion of wisdom, gravity and profound conceit, and they show that they are very wise, they have a very gravity, and they are full of deep thought, profound conceit. And who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and whoever sees them, they present themselves as if they are Sir Oracle, very intelligent person. And when I open my lips, let no dog barks, and when I open my lips, no one should say anything, let no dogs bark. So, they show themselves. He is telling that, Antonio, you are like this, you are like Sir Oracle. So, which I open my lips, let no dog bark. O my Antonio, I do not know of these, that therefore only are reputed wise. So, he is saying that, Antonio, these people are only reputed wise. So, actually they are not wise, they are showing that they are wise. So, he is saying that, Antonio, you are not wise, you are showing that you are very wise. For saying nothing, when I am very sure, if they should speak, would almost damn those ears. So, when they keep quiet and then they say nothing, so at time comes when they speak, and when they speak, they almost damn every ear, because they speak rubbish, which hearing them would call their brothers fool. So, whoever hears them will call that he is a fool. I will tell thee more of another time. So, he is saying that I will tell more about this on another time, but fish not with this melancholic bait. So, but do not throw this melancholic bait on anyone. Bait is something offered for the fish. So, your sadness bait which you are presenting to everybody, that you are very intelligent, do not do this. For this fool Gujgaon, this opinion, come good Lorenzo, fare ye well a while. So, Gujgaon is a fish. So, this will fool only Gujgaon type people. Everybody would not get trapped into it. So, come good Lorenzo, fare ye well a while. I will end my exertion after dinner. So, he is saying, so farewell Lorenzo, come with me, and I will finish my rest of the part of the speech after the dinner. So, Lorenzo says, well, we will leave you till dinner time. I must be one of them, same dumb wise man, for Gratiano never let me speak. So, Lorenzo says, at dinner I will also be a dumb, because when there is a Gratiano, no one is allowed to speak. So, Antonio says, I will grow a talker for this great. So, Antonio says that I will learn something from this, I will become some talker. So, Gratiano says, thank a faith for silence, and it is only commendable, its needs tongue dried. So, Gratiano finally says that only an ox or an old lady should remain silent, otherwise everyone should speak. So, with this, Gratiano and Lorenzo goes out of the scene, and only Antonio and Bassanio remains over there, and that we will discuss in the next part of this series. So, thank you very much for being with us.